Hi guys, in this video I'll be showing us how to cut and sew a circle pants or a flare pants. So a circle or flare pants is made from a half circle pattern, or how do I put it now? The same way you fold your fabric when you're cutting a half circle skirt, that's how you're going to fold the fabric. So I'll just quickly explain to us how to fold the fabric. Okay, so what you do is you're going to fold your fabric into two first, like I've done. Can you see? Then you now fold it in form of a triangle. So usually when you're cutting a half circle skirt, this is how to fold your fabric, right? So once you do this, the next thing is you're going to divide your hip circumference by 3, okay? Because we want the waist of the trouser to be as wide as your hip circumference. So I'll divide my hip by 3 is 12 inches. Yes. So you're going to measure 12 inches from the top of the apex of the folding there. Okay, so you're going to measure it round, like you want to create like an arc. Okay, so you measure 12 inches round. Yeah, 14 inches I meant, please. 42 divided by 3 is 14 inches. So I've measured my 14 inches round. That will be the radius of my circle. Okay, so from that arc there, from the point where the 14 inches stop, I'll now measure the length of my trouser. Now I'm working with 40 inches, and this is excluding the band. Okay, so I'll just measure 40 inches round from where the 14 inches mark stop. That is from the arc. So I'm measuring it round. So once I do that, okay, I'll now cut out. So after cutting out, okay, once you cut out, you will notice that the fabric is not equal. Okay, you can see the top part is not yeah, you can see at the top part there, it didn't get to the end of the circle. So it means that we're going to have a little joining. So before I do that, I'm just cutting out the upper part that we don't need, which is the radius. And then I'll just show us how you can add fabric to cover up for that shortage. Yeah, so what you do is you're going to fold on that fabric into two. And then if you notice, this upper part is on fold. So the fabric you're going to be adding for the joining also has to be on fold, as I've done here. Okay, so yeah, you can see the fold there. Now you're going to place this new folded fabric, you're going to place it where you have the shortage. Okay, and then once you place it there, you now use your tape rule to measure again from the edge of the curve. You know, that's the length of the pant you're working with. Okay, it's just for us to know how much we should add to the part that is you know, it's not enough. Okay, yeah, so I'll just measure from the edge of the curve there all the way down. So I'm still using my trouser, the length of my trouser, which is I think 40 inches. Then don't forget to add seam allowance. Yeah, don't forget to add seam allowance to what you're measuring. So it is, you can use this same technique like as it is now. This is a half circle skirt. So if you try to make a half circle skirt, this is how to, you know, go about it. So you just measure all the way till you get to the, you know, the part where the shortage ends, right? Okay, so I'm just doing, yeah. So after you've marked it out, you want to just use your scissors to cut out. And then for this particular part, also make sure you add about half-inch seam allowance, because you know you're still going to join this little part to the main skirt. So you just cut out like this. Yeah, so once you cut out, that's all. We've been able to make up for the part that wasn't enough, right? So now we're going to go to the main deal, which is how to convert this into a pant. Okay, so for this, all we're going to do is just to add like create crotch on the skirt. I beg your pardon. So now everything is still on fold. Okay, everything is still on fold. So if you folded the fabric properly, you're supposed to have 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4. So now you divide your crouch measurements by your hip measurement by 4 to give us the crouch depth. Now my hip divided by 4 is 10.5, but because it's a free garment, I'll add extra 1 inch to that just to drop the crouch, because it's not a leggings, it's not fitted. So I'll add 1 inch to that. That's 11.5. So that will be my crouch depth. Okay, so for everybody, just measure your crouch depth, right? Then now I'm placing my ruler perpendicular to that. I want to measure my crouch extension. So for the crouch extension, we're going to make use of the back crouch extension, which is your hip circumference divided by 10. Okay, so my hip divided by 10 is 4.2. I'll use 4.25 since I don't have that on the tape rule. Okay, so my back crouch extension, I'll be using 4.25. So you just calculate your own. Okay, so don't forget, make sure you calculate your own crouch depth, okay, which is your hip measurement divided by 4. Okay, so now we're going to cut the crouch. I'm just taking my time to explain it for us over and over again. Okay, so now here my crouch extension is 4.21, so I'll just measure 4.25. That's the closest on my tape. Okay, so I'll measure 4.25, which is my back crouch extension measurement. Okay, like that. I'm drawing the line like that, then it meets the crouch depth line. Okay, so I can now use my French curve, or the curved part of this my ruler, to draw the couch very well. So I'm just drawing out the square. I'm squaring it out first. Okay, the longer line is the crouch depth, then the horizontal line is your crouch extension. Yes, so now I'm just going to get my French curve, and yeah, I'm going to create the crouch now. So this is where my crouch is, like this. So once I do this, when I want to cut out, okay, I'm not going to cut out directly on that line. I'm going to add ½ inch seam allowance to it. Okay, so I'll just cut like this, right? And then I'm just going to cut out. So by the time we separate this, I'm still going to cut a little bit inward for the back. The way the fabric is now, I'm cutting for both the front and back together. Okay, just to save time. So now, and like I said, and the part that has the joining is the one I'll use for the back. Okay, so I'm opening up the inseam line so I can separate it now. The one that has the joining, I'll use it for the back. The one with the without the joining, I use it for the front. So this is the back here. Okay, this is the one for the back, right? So I just open up like this. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so you just take out two pieces for the front and 2 for the back. Sorry for repeating. I'm repeating myself all over again, just so that we get it. Now I'm going to square the waistline. Can you see that? That's you have that arc around the waist. I just straighten it out a bit. So now the waistline is straight. Okay, so now I'm going to take out the back piece, and then for the front waistline, we're just shaping the front waistline slightly too. Okay, so yeah, I'm taking out the back piece. Like I said, it is the part that has the joining I want to use for the back. So for the front, I'll just reduce the front waistline. I'll come down by 1 inch on the waist. Okay, like that, and then I'll just I'll use my ruler to connect it back to the side seam like this. Okay, now somebody will be wondering now, why did we use the hip measurement to get the radius? Is because we need the waist area to be wide enough so that when you want to wear it, your hip can pass while using elastic on this trouser. So that's why we did that. Okay, so now this is my front. So we just go ahead and sew with ½ inch seam allowance. Okay, then I'm trying to measure the remaining part of the measurement so that I can place my darts. I want to put the dart on the front so that it has a little bit of shape in front. The front area is not bulging, though we're using elastic for it, yes, but then the dart will still give you some kind of make it fitted around the front area. So I'm just placing my darts. So the dart should be about 4 or 5 inches long. Yeah, So what you do is you measure what is on the waist there, divide it by 2, find the midpoint, and then you just create your your darts position, which is what I'm trying to do. Okay, so yeah, like I said, just find the midpoint, which is where what I've just done now. That's the midpoint. So once you draw that line, you just mark ½ inch on both sides of that line. Then you just sew your normal basic darts. Okay, yeah. So just go ahead and hold it together. Okay, both on both sides of the fabric. The front has 2 sides, so I'll just go ahead and hold it. Then I'll sew the crotch area. Now for the back, I'm not going to add that to the back, because by the time I add that to both front and back, you won't be able to wear it, except you won't add zipper to the back. Yeah, if you don't want to use elastic, you can put that on the back too and then add the zipper. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and reshape the back crotch. I need the back crotch to be slightly more curved inward, so that it can sit very well. So you can see what I've done. So I'll still take into consideration the ½ inch for seam allowance. So I'm just going to cut in like this. Okay, so by the time I sew with ½ inch, I will land on that place I marked, like that. Yeah, so just go ahead now and sew with ½ inch seam allowance to hold the two back pieces together the same way I want to hold the front piece together. Then for the back, don't forget I will have a joining here. Don't forget. So just go ahead also take off my pin and then pin the two pieces together and join it. After I finish joining it, give it a very good press so that it's not very obvious that you have to join the lower part of the pants. So here I am, I'm trying to join the crotch for the front and the back. So the crotch area, you're joining with ½ inch seam allowance. Okay, and then make sure you notch it so that it will sit well. Okay, now I'm also trying to sew the dart. Now don't forget I said I'm adding the dart to only the front. Now the dart is optional. If you don't want to add that to it, it's fine. It's perfect. I just wanted my own to have this fit in front. Okay, so I'm done sewing the dart and the couch area. So I'll just show what I've done so far on the floor. Yeah, so you can see that I've sewn the front crouch and the back crouch. You can see that. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, and you can also see that the front waist is looking smaller than the back. The front waist, because we added that to the front part. Yeah, so the back looks bigger, which is perfect. So now I'll just go ahead and sew my inseam, placing the front and back together like this. I'll sew the inseam from one point to the other. Then I'll also do my hemming at the hem of the pants. I want to do the hemming. Okay, so let me just go ahead, and this is the joining. You can see that yeah, it's showing now, but by the time you press it, the joining will not be showing. And make sure the joining is at the back. It's better. Okay, so now I'm going to teach us how to fix some pockets. So for the pockets, you cut out 2 large pieces. Okay, from here to here. Okay, you fix it like ½ inch before the waistline. Okay, and then yeah, you can see that I pinned it. So you're going to sew, attach the pockets ½ inch to the front, and then for the back to the same thing. You're going to add the other side of the pocket ½ inch to the back. I'm not sewing, I just pinned it together. Okay, so yeah, I've sewn it, so you can see that the pockets, the pieces are lined separately, one to the front, one to the back. Okay, so next thing now, I'm going to place them side by side. You can see the right side is facing the right side. Okay, so I'll place the pockets, I'll bring it out. Yeah, so you sew with ½ inch seam allowance. Like I said, I'm just repeating myself again because I thought that part was not very clear. So I'm also sewing here with ½ inch seam allowance. I'm sewing the pocket to the trouser itself separately, front and the back, just ½ inch. Okay, so once I do that, okay, once you do that, then I'll now start sewing with 1 inch seam allowance from the waistline. Okay, so I just sew with 1 inch, then I'll turn into the pocket to ½ inch like that, come back here, then sew 1 inch all the way down, because usually side seam allowance for any kind of garment is 1 inch. Okay, so I'm just going to do that, and then we'll go to the sewing of the band, and then we're done. This tutorial is very simple, so I'm just showing us how I fix the pockets. Can you see? I've already joined the front and back pieces together, so this is just one side of the pockets. And then make sure you always sew with pins. It's very, very crucial. Yeah, so this is my band. Now for your band must be your hip circumference measurement if you're using elastic. Yes, and if you follow the tutorial very well, the waistline on this pant should be the same as your hip circumference. So you just fix the elastic, and then this, you create a hole here, can you see? And then this is my pin, so you just go ahead and stitch it down, and then that's all. So here I'm trying the pant on, yeah, and this this little man didn't want to let me finish my tutorial in peace. Anyways, so this is the outcome of the pant here. I'm sure we saw it on the thumbnail. Okay, so it's a very beautiful design. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching.